It's time for another wine and clock test. As everybody may have heard, the new Nano Banana 2 is out. The good news is there's nothing you really need to do. It's what is called a hidden upgrade, which means it automatically works. So let's go ahead and test it out. We're going to try it in 3 different modes. We're going to try it in fast, thinking, and pro within Gemini. I like to conduct this test every couple months, new upgrades, just to kind of see where things are at, see if maybe they snuck something in I wasn't paying attention to. So first one is, prompt is super simple. Create a scene where the clock is at 11:15 and the glass of wine is full. We go ahead and put that in our prompt and we wait a few minutes for the results. I already ran this test, so I have the results for you here. And as you can see, the clock says, well, does it say 11:15 or does it say 5 to 3? And if you look at it a little bit closer, I actually think it says 5 to 3, even though it's a little deceptive. And you'll notice that the glass of wine is only half full. So from there, I thought, well, you know what? Maybe it's just the fast mode. That's what's creating the issue. So let's go ahead and try thinking mode. So all you have to do is select thinking, take your prompt, and go ahead and hit go. Since I already did that, it looks like it did in fact try to fill the glass up a little bit more, but it didn't make it all the way to the top. And you'll see here the big hand kind of crept up a few notches, again looking like it's more 4 minutes to 3 than it is actually 11:15. Now this is not unusual. Any test I've run in the past is very similar. So let's go ahead and try this with the Pro image. So we have create a scene where the clock is 11:15 and the glass is full, and we'll go ahead and select Pro and then hit go. Kind of hoping for a good result here, but we'll see what we end up with. As you can see with the result, it actually filled up the glass a little bit more, but the clock is still at 4 minutes to 3. So this is really not passing the test as I would see it. So the question is, why does a technology as advanced as this cannot get these things correct? So I simply asked Gemini, why can't you create a scene where the clock is at 11:15 and the glass of wine is full? And I actually found this very interesting. It comes back with its normal, polite. It can definitely be frustrating when an image doesn't quite match the exact picture. However, there is something called the standard pour bias. The standard pour bias is when image generation software takes millions of existing pictures and it comes up with a standard. And most wine pictures that we see, whether they're in magazines, whether they're on websites, are half full, because rarely, if ever, do we go to a restaurant in real life and see that that pour is all the way up to the brim. So what's happening here is that it's applying a standard pour as it understands it within the software, but also recognize AI doesn't really understand the difference. It's just taking representations that it knows and it applies that standard. So when you're talking about the clock, you're really talking about drawing versus understanding. And what's very interesting about AI is AI does not know how to tell time. Matter of fact, it is completely unaware of time. So this is the same problem we're having here with the clock face. It's basically using visual patterns with millions of samples that it has, but it really does not understand what 11:15 means. So this test is a real good way to see how AI is advancing in this one simple application. I find it very interesting. I'm kind of hoping one day it just magically works, but we'll see what happens until then. I do talk about the time phenomenon in AI Bits and Pieces. It'll explain to you a little bit more detail as to why AI doesn't understand time. So until next time, have a great day and enjoy Nano Banana 2. And if you can, share some stories with me.